Good morning, Forbes Elementary. Welcome back to another school year. There's a few things that are a little bit new this year that I want to introduce and bring up besides some of the other things your teachers may have shared with you already. One thing is that we will be getting more buses this year. So bus students, as you arrive, you'll come over to the east side of the school, and we want you, when you get out of your buses, to walk nicely and be respectful and come up by the flagpole. You'll wait up by the flagpole until the bell rings and your teacher comes to pick you up. So the flagpole up by the front of the school is where we wait for school to start. If you're going to eat breakfast, you go right into breakfast and eat there. For breakfast students, listen carefully to this. We want you to arrive between 8:55 and 9:05. That's when breakfast is served, and then you'll have till 9:15 to finish eating and get to class. But you can't show up right at 9:10 or 9:08 and get breakfast and eat. That's not enough time. So you need to get to school before 9:05 so that you'll have time to finish your breakfast and get to class on time, because we want you to class on time and learning. Other thing, students, we're going to have some school goals. Some of our school goals are about attendance. We love it when you come to school and learn. If you are here every day, you get the full lesson, you get to experience the learning with other students, and that's the best learning. Sometimes you have to be absent, but those absences should be for as little a time as possible. We don't want you absent too much or it will hurt your learning. So that would be like a special thing with your family or a doctor's appointment or something, you get excused. So every week that you're here all week, you can earn a positive Patriot for being here all 5 days during that week, or if it's a short week, however many days are in that week. Now, if you have to be absent, the way you could still earn that positive Patriot is that you check in with your teacher, you let them know you're going to be absent, and you ask what you need to do to stay caught up so you can learn as much as possible. It's not going to be as good a learning as if you were in school, but it'll show that you're being responsible and working to be caught up. So that's another way you can earn that positive Patriot. Another thing that we want to work on as a school is we want to be more responsible using the bathroom. So when we use the bathrooms, it's very important that we keep it clean. Everybody has to share that bathroom, so be clean and be respectful. Make sure you use just a small amount of toilet paper, just enough, and that you flush it, don't clog the toilets. Make sure when you wash your hands, you don't get soap or water everywhere. Be really respectful with that. Another thing is you don't go to the bathrooms to play around or to hang out or to get out of class. That's not responsible. It's also very disruptive to learning if you're asking to use the bathroom all the time in class. So how often should you use the bathroom and when should you use the bathroom? There are some great times to use the bathroom. The best times are before school, after school, at your recess, and during your lunch break. So there's 4 times that are really good to use the bathroom. Now, if you need to have an emergency other times, you should only ask to use the bathroom if it's an emergency, not just because you're bored or you want to leave the classroom. So if it's an emergency and you can't make it till the next break, then you could ask to use the bathroom. But that should happen like once a day, not 10 or 20 times a day. We shouldn't have emergencies more than once a day. Unless, of course, you have a medical reason or a reason why you might have to, then you would talk to your teacher and your parents and you'd set up a plan that would be reasonable for you. But for most people, it's pretty reasonable to do it to use the bathroom before school, during your recess, during lunch, after school, that's 4 times, and every once in a while you'll have to have an emergency where you just can't make it to that break. But if it's more than that, then we want to work on that or have a plan to fix it. And your teachers will be able to use some positive Patriots this year to reward you for being responsible, either following your plan or following the school's plan to use the bathroom responsibly. We want you to do a really good job of that. We don't want teachers being interrupted. We don't want learning of students being interrupted, and we don't want our bathrooms being played in. Right? Those are the things we're trying to improve there. Another thing we want to improve on is bringing toys to school. Toys are not for school. Toys and stuffies should stay home. If you forget or you need one to walk with you to school, it needs to be put in your backpack and put in your cubby and put away. It should not be out during learning time. That becomes a distraction. Now, some students might have a tool or a plan. This is a tool not to play with. It's not a toy. It's a tool that may help them learn better. If you have a tool that's helping you learn better, you should make a plan with your teacher, with your parents, and you, and and you guys decide how that helps you learn better, and then you prove it in class. Now, if you make a plan, but then you play with it and it's distracting to learning, then it becomes a toy. And with toys, what we're going to say is that our teachers, if they see a toy and it's distracting learning, they will hold it till the end of the day. You can expect your teacher to take the toy, they'll just hold it till the end of the day and then give it back to you at the end of the day. If that happens a lot, if your teacher's having to take a toy away from you a lot, they may hold it and say, instead of giving it back to you, I'm going to have your parent come and pick it up so I can kind of talk to them about it. So then they might hold the toy and say, hey, just tell your parents to come in, I'll give the toy to them, and then we can make a plan and figure it out so that it's not distracting learning. So if you'll help us with that, please don't bring your toys, cards, stuffies, things like that to school. Those should stay home. They're usually disruptive to learning and not a good thing. Another thing is phones and watches. Some kids like to bring their phone or their watch that calls to school. That's okay, but it needs to be used before 9:15. That's before school starts. You could call or talk, and it needs to be used after 3:30, after school gets out. It should not be used in the middle of the day. We have kids who want to sneak out to the bathroom and talk on their phone, or they want to go out in the hall when something's hard at school, or they want to see their mom, or they miss their mom and they want to call them, and that's really disruptive to learning. So if you bring a phone or a watch to school, we want you to put it in your cubby and turn it off. Turn it off, put it in your cubby, and save it till the end of the day. If it disrupts the learning and you're using it inappropriately, then again, we'll hold it and give it to you at the end of the day, or give it to your parents if it's happening a lot of times. So please keep your phones and your watches in your cubby and off during the learning time, which is from 9:15 to 3:30. And you don't take them out to recesses either. It's the same problems happen when we take them to recesses and to lunchtime. Just keep those put away until the end of the day. They should be used before and after school to communicate with your parents at those times. If you'll help us in those areas, that will be a great way to earn positive patriots, to show self-mastery, and to help learning happen in the school, which is what we need to do. When we put 30 kids together in a class, a lot of classes have around 30 kids, and try and learn, we need everyone working together and trying hard and being responsible to make that learning the best it can be. Thanks. Remind you of a couple more things we want to remember this year as we start the school year. One is that we don't want you to come to school before 9 o'clock. We don't have anybody to watch you before 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, there is one adult that will be out by the flagpole, and a teacher that will be there to supervise. So please stay out in the flagpole area between 9 and until the first bell rings. If you're coming to breakfast, you can come at 8:55, but only if you're coming to breakfast, because we don't have supervision outside until 9. And then at the end of the day, we need your parents to come and get you before 3:45. So from 3:30 to 3:45, we'll have someone who will wait out by the flagpole. Also, if there's no one to pick you up in your pickup spot, we need you to come up to the front by the flagpole. That's where we wait. And at 3:45 is when we'll go call your parents and say that, see if they're okay and make sure they're coming to pick you up if they're not there to pick you up. But the goal is to be to school no earlier than 9 and to have your parents pick you up before 3:45, between 3:30 and 3:45. So if you'll help us with that and with communicating to your parents, that makes sure that you are supervised. Another supervision thing that we want to make sure of is that we don't want you unsupervised in the schools. So at recess, we have people on duty to supervise you. In your classroom, we have teachers. If you need to take a break, we've got places like the Zen Zone or the office, or you could take a break in a calm down corner in your teacher's room, or maybe another teacher's room, but we don't want you to go in the halls. So like going in the hall to sit in a corner or to sit quietly, although that is a quiet space and gets you away from maybe what is bothering you, it's not supervised. So as you need places for breaks, we want you to think about places that are supervised and not in the hallway alone by yourself. So work with your teachers to find those places that are appropriate to take breaks that aren't by yourself in the hallway.